Camila Cardoso. One team is going to the Sweet 16. And immediately, India Navarre fouls Ashlyn Watkins, and she's going to the free throw line.
Right off the tip, South Carolina is trying to go fast pace. No setup of an offense, but going aggressive to the rim.
I think I saw Camila Cardoso have to gather herself a little bit. I think the crowd's reaction to her coming back on the floor brought some tears to her eyes.
When it's the NCAA tournament, you know, it just means a little something extra, and she had to sit out that first game. She's happy to be back on the court.
South Carolina's bringing the pressure. At the fingertips of Usby, she's able to corral it.
The defensive pressure and setting the tone is important for South Carolina.
Up ahead to Bree Hall. A little too far under the basket, looking for some help, and Tahina Paopao is there. And this will be North Carolina basketball. As much as North Carolina wants to get off to a good start, South Carolina's been pushing a better start for a few weeks now.
They've gotten off to slow starts at times, but after they watched North Carolina play in the first round, they knew they had to be the team that set the tone.
South Carolina lost 5 players to the WNBA draft last year. As you said, they had to do a renovation, not a rebuild. And Dawn Staley continuing that dominant way the last 3 seasons, 104-3.
She's had a boatload of talent.
Yeah.
You know, we talked to her about rotations and substitutions. Is that hard? And she said, no, it's a luxury to have so much talent. This team can go 10 deep.
Yeah, they're second in the nation in bench points per game. That could be a factor today against a shorthanded North Carolina team. And that's going to be a turnover. Now this North Carolina team has dealt with some injuries. They've lost 3 McDonald's All-American point guards to injury. That's why you see Deja Kelly, number 25 in the Carolina Blue, having to run the point again.
I think that's also a reason why South Carolina has started out with that full court pressure. Want to wear down this North Carolina team because you've got 3 players that average over 35 minutes a game.
Must be with the shot, Gakdang with the rebound. A hard hedge from Ashlyn Watkins, trying to make it hard on Deja Kelly. Navarre, the turnaround over 6'7", Camila Cardoso.
That was a tough shot by Navarre, but a good sign for North Carolina. Navarre had a tough shooting night their first game against Michigan State.
There's going to be a foul on Maria Gakdang. Courtney Banghart in her 5th season. It's the 4th straight NCAA tournament appearance. They took down a Michigan State team who scores a ton of points on Friday, and they did it with their defense, limiting Michigan State's offense.
North Carolina controlled the tempo of that game.
Paopao misses in the corner. That's what you get with Camila Cardoso back in the game. An automatic backboard.
Yeah, for South Carolina, sometimes a missed shot is as good as an assist.
South Carolina averages 15 second chance points a game. A lot of that has to do with Camila.
You see Cardoso repositioning herself on the backside to be there for the offensive putback.
First foul whistled against Raven Johnson. Must be trying to get around Watkins.
That's going to be the matchup to watch. As long as Watkins and Usby are matched up together, who will win the competition in the paint?
Cardoso misses on the turnaround. It'll be UNC basketball. Defensively, how does North Carolina want to approach Camila Cardoso?
You want to keep Cardoso either meeting her early, not allowing her to get down in that block area, or if she does, then Gakdang's got to really push Cardoso behind the backboard. Use that rim and the backboard as another defender.
Lexi Donarski calling for the basketball back. can't get it to her. She's guarded by Pow Pow. 8 seconds. Navarre, a deep triple. Gakdeng with the offensive rebound. Dinarski off the mark. And Lexi Dinarski, a good shooter, but struggled on Friday, 1 for 9 from the field.
When she misses shots early, she can get hesitant in pulling the trigger. She cannot afford to do that today. She's got to shoot the basketball with confidence.
Raven Johnson with the SEC logo, a bit short, got her own rebound. Too many chances will kill you against South Carolina. Stolen away by Raven. The pass up to her best friend, Camila Cardoso.
The defensive intensity of South Carolina has been impressive in these first 4 minutes.
It's a 6-0 run. A lot of that has been fueled by their defense, like Raven Johnson forcing that turnover. Up and in for Maria Gakdeng, her first NCAA tournament. It's been her first 2 career seasons at Boston College.
Gakdeng gave Cardoso some problems in that first half in November.
Yeah, Cardoso only had 6 points in that game. Blocked by Bree Hall.
Cleaning the glass is what South Carolina does so well. Not just 1, but 2 offensive rebounds in 1 possession, and then off their defense, then out, running. This is easy offense for the Gamecocks.
4 of those 7 points have been second chance points. South Carolina's only been out-rebounded twice this season. One of those times was by this North Carolina team back in November. Dawn Staley was quick to point that out. She has not forgotten.
Yeah, when you've got the length in the post and she wants her guards to rebound as well, being out-rebounded is unacceptable.
Chloe Kitts and Tessa Johnson have rotated in. Kitts was 9 for 9 on Friday. We'll just extend that, 10 for 10 in the tournament.
You read my mind. I was thinking the same thing. And she talked about getting her confidence back. She had lost it a little bit, but she's playing with great confidence. She was the only player in that first meeting with Presbyterian to play over 20 minutes.
There's going to be an offensive foul on Chloe Kitts on the screen before Pow Pow took that shot. South Carolina off to an aggressive start. How does North Carolina respond here? They're only shooting 29% from the field. Usby was blocked by Cardoso. UNC gets it back, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Malaysia for Wiley picks the pocket of Deja Kelly. For Wiley is coming off 17 points in her very first NCAA tournament game.
Here's got to be the concern for North Carolina. South Carolina has already subbed in 3 players. They're going to keep fresh bodies on the floor. Will that wear down North Carolina?
Alyssa Usby just stuffed Kitts. Difficult shot for Alyssa Usby.
Usby can just find a way to score. You think you've got her stopped, and then she finds a bucket.
You mentioned the bench play. Minutes played by starters. For North Carolina, they're the 34th most in the country. For South Carolina, the 300th most, meaning they use their bench a lot.
And foul trouble could be an issue for North Carolina.
It's the second on Gakdeng. Tiani Key and Alexandra Zelaya will check in for North Carolina.
Now, Key was very important in that game against Michigan State, and the thing that Courtney Banghart liked was how she played with the pace of the game.
Cardoso gets the first. The NCAA Women's Championship rolls on with the Sweet 16 beginning Friday. Concludes April 7th when we crown a champion. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships. We mentioned Tiani Key checking in. I thought she gave them some really good minutes in the win over Michigan State on Friday.
She had 7 rebounds. She had 2 blocks. Her defensive presence, especially with a 5-out type offense that Michigan State ran, was really good.
Deja Kelly up and in.
The kid's going to have to come up on that ball screen because Kelly can come right off of that quickly and start putting up points.
First points for Deja Kelly. Inside to Chloe Kitts. Well, you mentioned Tiani Key. It's been a busy week for the Key family. Her mom, Tammy Brown, is here, but her sister, Tamari Key, plays for Tennessee. They're playing up in Raleigh, and they beat Green Bay yesterday. So there's her mom, Tammy Brown. She had her Tennessee jersey on yesterday. Got to put the North Carolina jersey and get in the car for today.
Well, she started here on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So she's putting a lot of miles on her vehicle.
That's a dedicated parent.
There's Key trying to get after it on the glass.
Pow's going to come up with it. Tessa Johnson. Her first points in the NCAA tournament of her career. Largest lead for South Carolina.
What was South Carolina missing last year? Why they got eliminated in the Final Four? It was the ability to shoot the 3. Tessa Johnson, along with Tahina Paopao, are 2 big additions, along with Malaysia Fulwiley.
Well, Paopau's first in the nation in that category. There goes Tahina. Back to Tessa. 2 in a row! An 8-0 run for the Gamecocks. SP's turnaround won't go, and it's going to stay with North Carolina.
Tessa Johnson, welcome to the NCAA tournament. From the 3-point line, shooting that thing with confidence. Woo, what an arch.
Tessa Johnson, the Minnesota Gatorade Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American, the swipe from Malaysia. Stop me inside, no problem. I'll just hit a 3. Run is the real. And don't forget, she was the SEC Tournament MVP, the first freshman to earn that title since Candace Parker.
The turning point, I feel like, for Malaysia Fulwiley was after November 30th game when she didn't play. Dawn said she let her sit, let it marinate a little bit, feel it, not play. He told her it was because of her defense. And Malaysia accepted it. She goes, you're right. And from that point on, Dawn said, I haven't had that problem out of her again. It was transition defense of what she wasn't doing in North Carolina. That's not been a problem with this freshman since.
Not at all, and her offense has come along with it too. She's their second leading scorer. Foul was whistled against Lexi Donarski of North Carolina. That puts Chloe Kitts at the free throw line.
He's a freshman averaging 12 points a game. Not just 12 points a game on this South Carolina team that has a wealth of talent.
She's doing that coming off the bench. Last 3 games, she's put up 18 points per game. Swatted away by Malaysia, up ahead to Bree Hall. Yeah, she got that defense working.
Quick hands. And to take the ball from Deja Kelly, that's doing some work.
It's a 15-0 run now. Zelaya over to Donarski, 3 seconds, no space. Hina play in person at South Carolina for the very first time this week.
Let me tell you how close this family is. Her sister named her baby Tahina's niece, Tahina also. And I got to hold her yesterday.
I know, I'm so jealous.
Oh.
But you're seeing that show up. It's rare, and you can talk to this coach, having coached this game, for a player to come in as a transfer too, and inject that family atmosphere and that trust into a new group of players.
Having come in as a seasoned player, you know, she said that when she first came in, knowing that she was the outsider coming in, but recognized too that there was a sisterhood that already existed, so she knew that they had the same type of philosophy and she would fit right in.
Swatted away by Watkins into the hands of Bree Hall, South Carolina. Crushing it.
And you know, Tessa Johnson won the three-point shooting contest in a high school, the McDonald's All-American game. So she brought a three-point shot when she came to South Carolina. She knows what the assignment is, and it's to shoot the three. She's calling for it early. And she doesn't need but a quick second. And she is lined up, dialed in from the three-point line.
Tessa Johnson did not score the first time they played North Carolina, and she already has 9 points.
She's making up for it.
It's going to be a foul on Sanaya Fagan, her first.
The agility of the post players for South Carolina, that's another thing that makes them so dangerous. How they can defend away from the basket, being aggressive on those ball screens. Sanaya Fagan just got a little too aggressive on that one.
There's a Kelly off the back of the iron. Maria Goctang with the offensive rebound, and Kelly will get another chance. Another offensive board. That's an area Courtney Banghart felt like they could get some advantages on the offensive glass.
And then got to score off of those opportunities, creating those extra possessions.
There's 6 offensive rebounds, but no points coming out of those.
Deja Kelly's having a tough night. She is a focal point of the South Carolina defense.
Deja Kelly does so many different things for North Carolina. How could she not be? She's a scorer. She plays the point guard. Bree Hall off the mark.
You talked about the 3 that are injured, that are point guards. Deja Kelly has thought over the last 3 seasons that she would be able to move over to that 2 spot and having to run the point because of the injuries that have happened this season.
But she's taking it as a positive and saying, look, in the next level, on the next level, I'm probably not just going to be a 2 guard. So she's trying to learn as much as she can playing the 1 and the 2.
You got to find the silver lining of the situations you were put in.
It's going to be a foul on Ashlyn Watkins. Deja Kelly has played 40 or more minutes in 12 games this season. She's one of 14 players in the nation to do that. We saw yesterday in practice, too. A lot of the time she just stands over to the side and takes it all in. They're trying to save her legs.
Well, Courtney Banghart said that after that Michigan State game, she was a little bit sore because she does handle the ball a lot. There's a lot of contact going up and down the floor. So anytime you can find a second for her to rest, you give it to her.
Bree Hall coming off the screen. And that's going to be the second foul on Deja Kelly. So she goes to the bench. Lexi Donarski comes in. How long can you play without Deja Kelly?
Not too long. You cannot allow this lead to swell with Deja Kelly on the bench because the game can get out of control. It'll be interesting to see if South Carolina brings some full court pressure with Kelly not in the game.
Tahina Paopao is back in. Back over to India Navarre. Danarski on the back door, and she's fouled by Cardoso.
How do you relieve pressure with pressure? And you know South Carolina's going to be up in the passing lanes. Danarski set that up. Beautiful to have room on the backdoor cut.
Lexi Danarski, 3 seasons at Iowa State before coming over to play for North Carolina. Well, the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship second round continues today on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For more information on tournament game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. Taken away by Usby. Watkins gets it right back. Already 7 steals for South Carolina. And Tessa Johnson foul driving in. That's going to be the 3rd on Maria Gotting.
Courtney Banghart's going to leave her in the game. The adjustment Don Staley has made, though, was moving Cardoso up around the top of the key for ball reversal. What does that do? That opens up driving lanes for South Carolina's guards.
Tiani Key is at the table waiting to check in for North Carolina. And she will replace Gotting. Where North Carolina is super short-handed at the guard position. They do have a little bit of depth inside at the post. Over to Navarre. Paopao off the screen. Pick and roll to Cardoso.
Pretty pass and delivered right on target from Paopao to Cardoso.
Whereas North Carolina short-handed at the point guard position, South Carolina has 2 point guards on the floor right now in Tahina Paopao and Raven Johnson.
There's not a shortage at any position for South Carolina. Post, guards, wings.
Watkins working on Poole. Looking at her options.
Poole doesn't want to shoot it from out there.
Must be in traffic. And it's going to be a jump ball possession arrow to South Carolina. Tessa Johnson checks out with 11 points for the Gamecocks. Mylasia Fulwiley back in. And here comes Deja Kelly for North Carolina. Remember, she's got 2 fouls.
Kelly is a senior and a smart player. She's got to play discipline not to pick up her 3rd before the end of the half.
Paopao, there it is! Her first point. She's the best 3-point shooter in the nation.
South Carolina is just clicking on all cylinders in this first half. Oh, my goodness.
No bigger block. And then a team finish on the other end. India Navarre with the crowd silencer.
Okay, I'm still in a little bit of an amazement. The block on one end by Ashlyn Watkins, and then it could have possibly been goaltending on the other end. She's just playing up around the rim.
She can dunk. She's dunked twice in her career. First punch. Their defense has been so awesome to watch, too.
They've done it defensively. They've done it in transition. Their offense has been on point. Yes, I agree, Rebecca Lobo. It has been beautiful basketball.
Janarski trying to see that first field goal go through. She's 0 for 4. North Carolina has 13 points as a team. South Carolina has outscored North Carolina. 22 bench points for South Carolina, just 13 total points for the Tar Heels. Again, this is a South Carolina team that's second in the nation in bench points. They average 33 a game. Anya Poole whistled for her first foul, and Chloe Kitts at the free throw line.
The reserves for South Carolina could have been another team seated in the bracket of 68.
Yep. Yep. What seed would you give them?
I think they'd be a top 4 seed.
Yeah.
You look, you have the likes of Mylasia Fulwiley coming in, the way Tessa Johnson shot out of the cannon from the three-point line. Ooh, Deja Kelly throwing a little bit of an elbow, it looked like. I think Mylasia Fulwiley has frustrated the senior.
Kelly's dealing with some foul trouble, too. 2 fouls. Chloe Kitts. 10 points now. Wiley stepping into a triple! And an air ball from Janarski.
You know what's so good about South Carolina? When you have a lot of talent, sometimes it takes a lot to make the decision of who to give the ball to or who's to shoot the ball when. They know that. They can find each other. They find the hot hand. They look for each other. They play unselfishly.
It looks different from last season, and obviously it would, because last year there was such an emphasis. You got to go inside. Why wouldn't you? You had Aaliyah Boston working inside, but now there's so many weapons for the Gamecocks. Are you kidding me? 7 threes now for South Carolina. Foul is on Bree Hall. First.
You're right, Courtney. Last season, though, with having Aaliyah Boston in the middle, Dawn Staley was getting the ball inside. And she said after having this group, she was thinking, well, maybe I should have let them shoot the basketball, being more freer with that decision, because she's allowing this team just to play, and it has definitely paid off. They're shooting almost 40% from the three-point line on the season.
And they're up by 40 points right now.
Against North Carolina, who's a very good ball team.
Lay with the butter. Cannot stop that freshman. She hit 5 threes as a career high on Friday, and now she's 3 for 3 today.
Confidence this team is playing with, and it doesn't matter if it's a junior, senior, freshman. These Gamecocks, when they step on the floor, they show ready to play.
Malaysia Riley is getting a standing ovation as she goes to the bench. 11 points, 4 of 6 from the field, but 3 of 3 from behind the arc. And she's still getting coached up by Dawn.
Well, look, because don't leave out the hard work stats, too. Because she also has 5 rebounds. She's got 2 steals. Come on now, give her the full stat line.
Next time I'll read the whole thing, I promise. Tahina Paopao was looking for Camila Cardoso, but she got caught in traffic. South Carolina is 1 point away from matching their season average off of the bench.
0 from the reserves of North Carolina. Oh, that's a big duck in by Gokdang.
Just her second field goal, she has 4.
North Carolina got out of that zone. Back to the man-to-man defense.
Sanaya Fagan off the mark. Rebound by Alyssa Usby. Donarski, no. And a 3-second violation. There just wasn't anywhere to go when Camila Cardoso puts her hands up.
It's like turning the lights out. It gets kind of dark in the paint.
Keep in mind, too, the South Carolina team, they didn't have Camila Cardoso now for 5 games on the season. They've won all 5 of those. She is a very important piece to what they do, but their depth also can step up when they don't have her.
When you look at this South Carolina team, I just look and say, okay, what is their weakness?
And what is the answer to that question?
It's hard to find. Now, there are times that they can go on some scoring droughts. They have spurts of time where they'll turn the ball over, but those don't usually last very long.
Usby, 6 points.
We talked about Malaysia Riley, her 11 points. Tessa Johnson, another freshman, came in, had 11 points of her own.
So if you're Courtney Banghart, what are you talking to your North Carolina team about in the locker room coming into the third quarter?
Well, number 1, don't get overwhelmed by the score. You've just got to put your nose down and go to work. Came out of the locker room, scored the first possession. Now you want to put back-to-back stops together. Just focus on the moment at hand. Don't let this game get too far ahead of you.
56 points is the most points allowed in the first half under Courtney Banghart when she's been at North Carolina. Oh, Ashlyn Watkins in and out. Raven Johnson with the offensive rebound. And this will stay with the Gamecocks. South Carolina played 9 players in the first half, and all of them but 1 scored.
Everybody but Sanaya Fagan. But defensively, Fagan was a huge presence.
Winner of this game moving on to the Sweet 16 to face either Oklahoma or Indiana. South Carolina trying to make it 10 Sweet 16s in a row. Here's Deja Kelly. She dealt with some foul trouble in the first half, has 2 fouls. Usby working against Watkins. And Alyssa Usby up to 8 points to lead North Carolina.
Usby isolation has worked for North Carolina. You got to look for more of that from number 1 in blue.
Cardoso, free throws coming for her.
The post patience by South Carolina. You see Ashlyn Watkins at the elbow area. She surveys the situation. She sees the seam in the middle of the zone and takes full advantage.
Ashlyn Watkins has become a vocal leader for the South Carolina team. Might surprise you if you saw her last year. She was pretty quiet.
we had the conversation about who is that voice in the locker room that was refused to lose, going after a championship like an Aaliyah Boston. And I was shocked when Dawn said that was Ashlyn Watkins. I didn't even know Watkins could really talk like that.
She's just so quiet.
But she's confident this year as a sophomore.
How about with the rejection of India Navarre? Here goes Watkins again. Over Usby. Missed the second look too. And Usby able to get by Watkins.
The isolation of Usby has been one area where North Carolina has been able to manufacture points.
She is such a scrappy player. Coming off 16 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 assists in the first round. Deja Kelly.
Kelly has Cardoso out on the wing. Gactain's got to look to post up.
Ashlyn Watkins playing volleyball underneath. And Bree Hall will get some free throws. Lexi Denarcy whistled for her second foul.
Ashlyn Watkins is so quick off her feet. She almost got a second one. She got that first one. Usby came back. Watkins was looking for some more.
Here's Bree Hall. We didn't see her on Friday. She was held out due to precautionary reasons, but back in the starting lineup today. One of two for Breezy. Don't forget the defending national champions are coming up after our game here. LSU and MTSU. The Blue Raiders upsetting Louisville in the first round.
In the first round, LSU had 24 turnovers. I'm sure Kim Mulkey has addressed that. They should come out sharp today.
Deja Kelly with the three here. Deja Kelly just 3 points. She's their leading scorer at 16 a game.
The defense of South Carolina has just been stifling. And look, they had to cut the head off of the snake, and that was Deja Kelly. The pressure that was placed on her in the first half kind of took her out of her game.
I mean, it was right from the get-go. I mean, South Carolina was pressing on the very first possession.
Well, it started with Raven Johnson, number 25 in white, and then when Malaysia Fulwala came in the game, she was just a nightmare.
Raven trying to force that pass up ahead to Bree Hall a little too much. Chloe Kitson, Aya Fagan, and Tessa Johnson to check in for South Carolina.
Just like North Carolina can't watch the clock, look at the score, neither can South Carolina. They can't get comfortable because they've got this huge lead and relax. You're creating championship habits. If you want to be the one cutting down the nets, you have got to stay intentional the full 40 minutes.
That'll be the second on Chloe Kitts of South Carolina. South Carolina team that entered this game having won 58 straight home wins. They won the SEC regular season and tournament championship. Beat LSU for a second time in that SEC tournament championship game. And there's Lexi Denarcy. That's just her second made field goal of the tournament.
Denarski's got to look for any shot opportunities she gets when North Carolina has the ball.
They want her to keep shooting, even though it hasn't been the strongest start. Fagan in and out. taking it inside. The transfer from Stanford, back playing for her home state.
North Carolina just got to stop. Can they get another one?
Pow finding room on the baseline. Points, 5 assists for Delina Pow, the transfer from Oregon.
The good news for the South Carolina fans is she's coming back next year.
Well, South Carolina has looked dominant in this game. They have been dominant. Iowa portion of the bracket where Iowa is that #1 seed. But watching them play a couple of days ago, Angel Reese, she had a double-double, which is normal. She only had 1 made field goal.
I'm not worried about that because Angel Reese also has Anissa Morrow on her team.
Yes, she does.
And Michaela Williams, who is a super freshman, along with Flau'jae Johnson. She was the other returning starter from that national championship team. So they've got plenty of talent. They can score. What was impressive about LSU toward the end of the regular season and in the SEC tournament, their defense has stepped up and taken on another level.
Yeah, that's been the question mark. It was early in the season. They knew LSU could score, but then they brought their defense along with it. I think Flau'jae Johnson has a lot to do with that. She has really turned into an all-around great player. Lexi Donarski hits for the second time. South Carolina absolutely dominated the first half. They led by 37 at the break. Shot 80% from three-point land in the first 20 minutes.
And now, possession by possession, North Carolina is finding those scoring opportunities. North Carolina cannot take the foot off the gas defensively.
The Tar Heels are outscoring South Carolina here in the third quarter, 14-9, but a huge hole to work out of. Must be running the floor in transition, and she's fouled by Mylasia Fulwiley.
Fulwiley got up a little gingerly.
That'll be the third foul against Mylasia. I think Dawn Staley just asked her, can you play with 3 fouls? She said, yeah. Okay.
Gave her the thumbs up. That change of speed was nasty.
I know, the hezzy. Woo.
But you got to finish the shot. Can't have a $1 million move and a 2-sip finish. This is going to go on the highlight reel until you miss the layup. You got to finish the layup.
We've seen her finish those plays so many times.
She is a player that, I mean, literally is fun to watch. When she comes in, everybody gets excited waiting for that highlight to happen.
What do you think it'd be like to coach her?
Oh, goodness. I might need therapy because there'd be some highs and lows, but it would be worth it. But Dawn wants her to go 100%, and then to have to pull her back instead of trying to convince a freshman to go, to have the confidence to make those plays.
Cardoso with the offensive board to kick out to Tessa Johnson. Malaysia Kelly, but I think she kept her hand on top of the ball. Gakdeng from the elbow misses. Just let it go, Malaysia.
Alyssa Usby has some blood on the front of her shin.
The training staff taking a look at Usby, but Malaysia Fulwiley just crushed her 4th three. Remember, she had a career high 5 threes on Friday.
Okay, she missed a layup, then comes down in transition. That was a little bit of a contested 3. And I immediately looked over at Dawn, no reaction. I think she's just used to it.
Yeah. 17 points Friday, 14 points today for Malaysia. Scooped up by Raven Johnson, up ahead to Fulwiley. Just got the bucket. 16 points to lead the Gamecocks. This is going to stay with North Carolina.
South Carolina has been just so, just sitting over here shaking my head watching them play today. But I expected them to step up from how they played against Presbyterian, but they took it to a whole nother level against North Carolina.
Shooting almost 50% from the field. They've hit 9 3-pointers.
There was a foul there. I think it was too.
No foul called, and it was North Carolina ball. And they're handling it better, and Blakely is one of those people.
And that necklace is a reminder to her, because Blakely is such an inspiration. And she said she's going to wear that necklace till the beads fall off of it.
That's why she got a new one.
She's been wearing the old one all season long.
Great reminder of such bigger things than the basketball game. Although South Carolina's looking pretty good at that basketball game as Sanaya Fagan hits, and now everyone who has played scored for the Gamecocks. The steal, and she's fouled. India Navarre whistled for her 2nd. Now for today's Star Stories, brought to you by Honda. We got not 1, not 2, but 4 double-figure scorers for the South Carolina Gamecocks today.
Everybody clicking on all cylinders. You know, and now for Sanaya Fagan to have scored. Everybody has contributed that has stepped on the floor for South Carolina.
It's one of the things, maybe, is it the biggest thing that makes them the most dangerous, their depth?
Absolutely it is. But it's not just having a number of people, the quantity, it's the quality of talent that South Carolina has.
And these are players that have bought into that. It's coming to South Carolina knowing, hey, I'm probably not going to start, but knowing now, hey, I am going to play.
Well, all of them except for 3 were on this team last year, playing behind the freshies, the 5 that got drafted into the WNBA. They stayed at South Carolina. They prepared themselves so that they were ready when this season came around.
Pow off the mark on the three, and there's a foul underneath. It's on Alyssa Usby, her second. Well, Wiley looking for her fifth three-pointer today. And Dawn Staley's talked about, too, this whole group talks. It's a little bit different than last year. She said they're constantly talking. Sometimes she doesn't know what they're talking about.
And they do at practice. We were at practice yesterday. They communicate with each other.
Right at the buzzer, Fagan.
And it's not clicks. I watched them at practice. One person would move to a different group and another group, and they would be assemble different kinds of groups within practice, all talking about the same thing. This team is about winning. They are competitors.
And they're doing all of this having lost 5 of their 6 leading scorers for last season that were drafted. And if you ask the players, if you ask Dawn Staley, in the summer, she thought their preseason ranking of 6 was too high.
Well, I think that was until they played in Paris.
Yes.
And then she was like, we might be ranked too low.
Yeah.
And they moved up to #1, and they haven't given it up all season long.
Usby looking for the long ball. Count it for Malaysia. It's like everything for Wiley touches turns to goal.
She may be young, but she plays like a pro. This woman can just make it happen in so many different ways. I was talking yesterday. Look, if women could come out of college one and done, I think there's some GMs that would take Malaysia for Wiley.
You think she could translate to the WNBA right now?
I do, yes.
Wow.
I'd pay a ticket to come watch her play.
Well, she's not eligible, but the WNBA draft is on April 15th.
We're going to make sure the GMs know they can't call number 12's name, Malaysia Fulwiley, but she'll be worth the wait over the next 3 years.
Camila Cardoso just checked out. She could go in the WNBA draft. Hasn't said whether she's decided to come back or move on.
She got a tough decision to make, I think, for Camila, because she really enjoys her experience here in South Carolina and this team. Is she ready to make that next step? New adventure, playing at the professional level.
Alyssa Usby was just whistled for her 4th foul. There's going to be an offensive foul against Deja Kelly, her 3rd. Deja Kelly really limited today, just 1 for 10 from the field. South Carolina has had her number right from the jump.
The game plan coming out with that full court pressure, not to allow number 25 in blue to establish, has worked out well for South Carolina.
Must be overshooting on the baseline. Talking about the WNBA, Zanina Pow had the option to go on. She has announced she's going to come back, which I know South Carolina fans and Dawn Staley are thrilled about.
I love the reasoning.
Oh, yeah. She said, I feel like I've gotten so much better in 1 year under Coach Staley. Imagine what 2 years will look like.
She lost, what, almost 30 pounds. She got in terrific shape. She already could shoot the basketball, but running this team, she has been a terrific addition to South Carolina.
I think the
players did not have starting experience, and they stepped on the floor like they were supposed to be there. The preparation to have themselves ready was huge.
Raven Johnson was the only returner that had actually started a game for South Carolina before. Kids got stuck and turned it over. Cole Wiley rejected by Gocting. Under 5 minutes to play here in Columbia, South Carolina.
Basketball in South Carolina's attendant, she said, 10 years been doing this. And now with the Caitlin Clark, now LSU's traveling show. They've had sellouts out on the West Coast at USC, UCLA, across the board. People are recognizing women's basketball is a sport to pay attention to.
I was here when South Carolina held their selection show party a week ago today, and Dawn Staley got on the microphone. She thanked the fans, as they call them, for so many things, but also for staying, no matter the score. And look how packed this arena still is, even though they are up big.
Well, these people aren't going anywhere. They want to send this team on to the Sweet 16.
South Carolina seeking its 59th straight win at home. They're trying to make the Sweet 16 for a 10th straight season. They would play in Albany, the winner of Indiana and Oklahoma. Fagan trying to beat Camila Cardoso. She has hit a 3 on the season, for the record.
The post players do work on their three-point shooting in practice.
Gillespie is going to be fouled by Chloe Kitts. Her fourth.
For North Carolina, Alyssa Usby and Deja Kelly also have another year. They could come back if they chose to.
Yeah, these are two players, two leaders on this North Carolina team. That'll be a big get for North Carolina if they do return. Well, the NCAA Championship Final Four weekend starts April 5th, with the Final Four continues Sunday, April 7th, when we crown a champion. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your home for all 90 NCAA championships.
Well, I'm excited about the Final Four, but I'm excited about today. Teams that are playing to advance to the Sweet 16. We already saw an upset, Duke beating Ohio State. What can happen over these next 2 days to decide who plays on and makes it to the regionals?
Yeah, we're lucky because we're one of the first games of the day. Now we can go watch all the other games.
I love this schedule. Absolutely. When she came in, Sanaya Fagan, Dawn Staley raved about her talent.
Well, Wiley just keeps pouring it on. She now has 20 points.
The quickness and athleticism of that freshman, number 12 in white, Mile Asia Full Wiley. You 5'10". We saw her grab the rim in practice yesterday.
Third time this season she's had 20 or more points in a game. Fagan short.
The rest of this bracket better take notice, because this team is sending a message that they are in the hunt to go win a national championship.
51 points off the bench for South Carolina today. They averaged 33 off the bench.
They have taken it up to another level in this NCAA tournament. Columbia, I was here when covering this team when you could barely fill the stands. And now the lines outside before every game. It doesn't matter if it's tournament or regular season.
A minute away from the Sweet 16. And a shot clock violation. We mentioned it two-pack, Deja Kelly driving in. Deja Kelly and Alyssa Usby, they have the option to come back, but they could move on. This could be their last game in a Tar-Heel uniform. And Deja Kelly, a player that has, whatever North Carolina has needed from her, she has responded.
First team All Big Ten first team All ACC 3 times. She's been a scorer, a floor general, a constant for Courtney Banghart. Alyssa Usby has been that Swiss Army knife. Just do a little bit of everything for North Carolina.
Yeah, she's been a nightmare for opponent scouting reports her entire career. That one got a little smile from Dawn Staley. Just for a second. But the tone was set immediately by South Carolina today. They left no room for questions. A decade straight of going to the Sweet 16 for Dawn Staley and the Gamecocks.
Yeah, welcome to the streets where the hustle never sleeps. Concrete jungle where every corner's got secrets to keep. From the neon lights to the graffiti on the wall. This is the life we live, where we stand tall in the heart of the city, where dreams collide. We navigate the alleys with swagger and pride. From the buskers on the corner to the vendors in the stalls. This is the rhythm of the streets, where the wild calls. Street life where the beats never stop. From dusk till dawn, we're on top. In the chaos and the noise, we find our groove. This is the street life, this is how we move. From the skaters on the sidewalk to the b-boys in the square, this is where we come alive, where we show we care. With every step we take, we leave our mark in the tapestry of the streets where we embark. From the stoop conversations to the midnight races, this is the life we live in all its different faces. In the rhythm of the streets we find our flow. This is the street life where we let it all go. Street life where the beats never stop. From dusk till dawn, we're on top. In the chaos and the noise, we find our groove. This is the street life, this is how we move. So here's to the streets, where we call home. In the hustle and bustle, we never alone. For in the heartbeat of the city, we find our soul. This is the street life, let the story be told. Yeah, in the streets we roam, where the stories unfold. This is the life we live, where we're brave and bold. So let's keep moving forward in this urban groove. This is the